Ladies and gentlemen. Ready?
Yeah. Hello and welcome back.
In Your Mind podcast.
It's good to be here. Back on the couch again. It's been a while. It's been a while. A while.
You okay?
It's been a while. That's wild.
We're sitting very far apart, it seems. Is this
Yeah.
how we always sit?
No.
No.
No, it's not. But it's kind of good because it kind of feels like an interview.
Yeah, and you
Feels
kind
a
of
little bit
smell
more
weird.
like- Oh.
No, I'm kidding. Anyway.
Is there anyone else
great
that
start.
can have a chat to me?
You smell great.
Did you hear about the thing where, like, if you like the other person's BO, you're, like, more opposite to them? Like, they're more extremely... The more you like the BO, the more...
Genetically
genetically
different your immune system is to the other person.
Yes.
Yes.
Interesting.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
And you think my
think about that
BO
a lot.
smells like soy crisps.
Yeah, in a good way. I love it. It smells like soy crisp.
I don't think I've ever smelled your BO.
I'm perfect. I don't sweat.
Or I just don't have a sense of smell, which is probably more likely.
No,
No?
I don't smell.
Okay.
It doesn't happen.
What happened to your leg?
I fell. I slipped. I went down. I was running. I was having a great time. It was like a bit of a bigger one. I was doing 11, supposed to be doing like 11 kilometers. And I kept being to myself, like, in this moment, it's good. In this moment, like, you know, I was like, oh, great. Like, I was just vibing. I was listening to some music, vibing hard.
What were you listening to?
I was listening to all the songs of artists that I like that are going to listen out for Sunday. So I was getting really hyped. I was feeling hyped. I was feeling like, yes. And also, when it probably got to around 3 kilometers, I start to feel my body change a lot. Like, I'm like, so when I start my run, I'm like, oh, I need to like
Warm up,
yeah. But also like, I'm like leaning forward. Like I like lean forward and I'm trying to like, I'm like, I need momentum or like I need like, I'm like fighting something. Like it feels like I'm fighting something when I start.
Yeah.
And then at about 3, it seems to happen at about 3 kilometers, my chest opens up and I straighten up. And
It's easy.
my vision, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
And my vision is like wider. Everything's wider and more open and I'm more like in the world. And then I'm like, I'm on. I'm on. And that was really good. So I was getting into that and I was like, yeah, this is great. Cedar's loving it. It's nice to like run with Cedar. And then he like looks at you every now and again and he like smiles. He's like, yeah.
Cedar's the dog.
Cedar's the dog.
Yeah.
And he looks at you every now and again. He's like, this is it. Like, we're fucking living. Like, the smile and, like, the stare that he gives you is just like, we are living. Like, this is living. And I'm like, yeah. And I just, like, nod to him. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know.
And then you belly flop on
We're
him.
doing it. Yeah. So, got around to Shelley's. And usually when we get to Shelley's, I like to, like, let him see the water and be in the water for just a little dunk. And I was like, oh, we'll like just go onto the rocks and then dunk from there. Like he can dunk off the rocks. Went onto the rocks and then I slipped. I just fully, the heels came off the ground. They lifted and I just plonked onto Cedar. Unfortunately. It was grasping. I was like, oh. And my arms that came out and I was just trying to hold on to something and Cedar was there and I was like, oh no.
Was it a big
Cedar.
fall?
It was just like a shock slip and I was like, fuck. Like I said, it was a very unexpected.
Did he let up a little yelp or what?
He was like, well, I had my earphones still in at that point. So it was pretty loud. So I couldn't really hear much, but his face said it all to me. And he was stuck between like 2 rocks. So he's had his like front paws up, but he was kind of like stuck, and then I'd kind of landed on him, and I felt really bad. So I helped him up, and then he was limping, and I felt really bad, and I scraped myself. So we both weren't doing so good, and then I rang Brendan to come and rescue us because we were both limping after that. And that's what happened.
But everyone's okay.
And Cedar looks like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Not even 10 minutes later, he was like...
He was like, are we still going?
Yeah. He was back to normal. So.
I feel like it's so embarrassing when you slip, like when you have a big fall.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Like, I don't really get... Like, the pain is nothing when you fall over, really, to me. But it's just like everyone sees you and like, oh, are you okay? Or they're like, it's
yeah,
just like,
the embarrassment. Oh. And it was bad as well because it was like, it's a public holiday on Monday. So Friday, it was just really busy. It was really busy down there. And there was people with cameras and they were loving it. And I went down with the dog and there was someone like on the ramp, like taking photos. And walking back with my limp, like blood gushing down my leg. And they're like snapping photos. And I'm like, yeah, cool.
Did anyone see if you were okay?
No.
What the fuck?
Yeah. People were like looking. Like,
Come on, people.
Whatever.
Have some compassion.
It's all right. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they're like, oh, is she all right? But they didn't say anything. That's okay. I could handle myself. I wasn't in I was in a state where I could help Cedar. I could help myself. It was fine. It's under control. Could ring you. Sat on a bench and observed.
It's lucky I could hear it because it was on the charger in the other room on silent.
Oh.
And I just heard it. I was like, is my phone ringing? And I had to get up and run.
Oh, wow.
I had to run.
Well, thanks for answering.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
That's what I do.
The bush turkeys down there have really taken over.
Bro, I was driving home from work yesterday and there were 3 bush turkeys. And there was a ute in front of me. There's the bush turkeys on the left of the road. And as this ute, like we were doing, I don't know, like 50 or 60.
Who's we?
Me and this ute.
Okay.
I was behind this ute.
Right.
We're doing 50 or 60 down this road. And there's 3 bush turkeys off to the side. We're standing there. They seemed pretty content on this side of the road.
Yeah.
Until the ute got about 10 meters away. And then the first bush turkey was like, I'm crossing, I'm going. And he just ran across in front of this ute. And he had to hit the brakes.
Shit.
And dodged the bush turkey.
Yeah.
The other 2 were standing there like, holy shit, bro, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Ute drove off, bush turkey still alive. And then I go, and these other 2 bush turkeys decide, okay, I'm going too. And I had to slam the brakes on to not hit these 2 bush turkeys.
Oh my god.
It's like,
are they playing chicken with you?
oh, they're so dumb, man.
But do you reckon, or you reckon they're like, oh, let's get them?
No, they're just stupid.
I reckon they're smart, and they're
No,
just like,
they're so dumb.
let's.
Because, like, part of me was like, I should have just hit them.
Oh, that's
But I was
very
like,
nice.
what sort of fucking care for the world do you have if you just plow through them?
Yeah.
But it's like natural selection, bro. Come on.
But like, we've had like a huge impact on their livelihood.
But they're not native, are they? Anyway,
Do they taste good?
I don't know. I've never eaten one. It's like a bin chicken. I don't think I'd ever.
Yeah.
Unless
But
I didn't know what it
someone
was.
could start cooking them up, because I feel like there's an excess amount around here.
I feel like they taste shit.
I don't know. They're pretty chunky. Like I reckon they've got some meat on them.
Yeah, quantity doesn't mean quality.
There's only one way to find out.
What are they actually called? Because they're not called bush turkeys. That's just what we call them, right?
I don't know. And I don't know if they're native either. I wonder if they are.
They totally aren't. There's no way. Yes, the Australian bush turkey, also known as the brush turkey, also known as the bush turkey or scrub turkey, is native to New South Wales. Not typically considered a good food source. Their meat is generally regarded as tough and unpalatable.
Oh.
Due to their protected status under Australian law, it's illegal to hunt or consume them.
So that's why they're out of control. Because I feel like they are on a different... They own Shelley Beach at this point.
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like they're
I
more...
was counting them on the beach. It was 10. There was 10 just like on the actual sand.
Who feeds them? Someone has to feed them.
No, I think just because the amount of visitors and tourists that come, I think there's just enough like food scraps. I think they eat a lot of the food scraps and then they can scavenge the rest. I think they're quite resourceful.
In other news,
Brendan has a studio. Tell us about it.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do you want to know? It's in D White. About 10 minutes from here.
Are you excited? What does having a space dedicated to music mean to you?
Freedom. It means I can be me, finally.
How has the time been when you haven't had a studio? What are the differences?
I just feel tied up.
How does that impact your livelihood?
My livelihood. What do you mean?
How does that impact your mood daily or?
Just makes me more empty.
Why is that?
Because there's no space to be me. You know what I mean?
So do you feel like you've had to suppress a part of you then?
I don't have to suppress it, but I can't like let it occupy the space that it wants to. Well, there are moments when you feel inspired or creative, and there's limitations to letting that go in the direction that it wants. Because I feel like naturally I like to make, or like full immersion, and that for music generally means having it loud. So keen to do that.
Yeah. Keen to see what you create with your new space.
You asked me before about how the space feels, and I said professional.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, like, the last place, like, I kind of made it what it was. But I had to, it was in a warehouse, so it wasn't as, like, complete, or the room was just the room. But this new place, I feel like it seems more professional because I think like the space, especially how I'm envisioning it being set up and stuff, could potentially be one of the most professional, kitted out studios that someone could walk into as an artist on my level. You know what I mean? Like the people that I'm going to be collaborating with at this point in time, like I think anyone would be stoked to go there. So it's going to be sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a great feeling to be able to create, have that vibe available to people. And if you're excited about it, like knowing that then can like inspires others, and also your excitement and enthusiasm and input into the space will rub off on other people too, and your music and on you. From me first seeing it, I was like, this is like, that's amazing. It's great. Even just hearing about it, and like how it also sounds like you're going to be surrounded by cool people where it is too. It seems like there's other musicians close by.
Yeah.
And I think even just knowing that and feeling that, and maybe it's just a high by kind of thing, but just like being in a space where there's other creatives that their passion or their work or their part of their soul resides there in a place that's really
next door, essentially.
close. Yeah, it's close proximity to also where your creative freedom or your freedom lies, which is huge. And I think just that energy being pulled together will create magical experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also like, I haven't really thought about it before finding this next place, but having another, like this is my second studio, and the the second one has given me context on the first, obviously. But the main thing that I think is one of the main things that has stood out to me, or like a notable thing, is like what the entrance to the space is like and how that can affect your mindset entering it. Like, one of my favorite parts about the studio is the carpet that goes up the stairs to the door. Like, it's just so soft and comfy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it just feels like nice. What else did we have?
Me.
Your new job.
Yeah.
Big news.
Huh?
Big news.
Big news.
How'd you find out about it?
Well, I've been approaching this place down the bottom of the road for like probably like 6 weeks.
How'd you find out about it?
I walked past it and I have this vision and this dream that's really aligned with what this place feels like. And walking past it made me super excited because I thought like I want to create a place where I can have a psychology practice and also have, you know, other Eastern and Western practices that cultivate like holistic healing and feel like a sustainable everyday routine things that you go and do that enable you to like live your best life and like keep you well. And I think psychology is only one aspect of that. And walking past this place, they have acupuncture, they have counselors, they have chiropractors, nutritionists, Reiki healing. They have all of these cool...
How many people work there?
So it's like they rent out the rooms.
Right.
There's 3 rooms, plus then there's like the hyperbaric chamber, a sauna, 2 saunas, and an ice bath.
Are they infrared saunas or?
Infrared. So I was just excited by the exterior and by like the list of offerings that this one hub seemed to
Just looking in the
offer.
window, it looks sick too.
Yeah, and it just feels like a great vibe and like, I don't know, the warmth, the warm lightings and all the plants and yeah. So yeah, I looked on their website. I kind of tried to see what they're about and then I emailed them and just basically saying, hey, like you've created a space which is really my dream and I think it's sick and I would just basically saying like this looks really cool. I love this. Like would love to be a part of it in any way, shape or form if the opportunity's there. And yeah, I went back and forth with them and had a little meeting with them yesterday and there's a front desk job available, which I'm really excited about because it means just like the main thing is just being in a space that brings together that type of community and that type of person that wants to be there. Like I think that's the most exciting thing to me, and also the people who work there. And I think again, like being in a place where you feel so aligned with the people, like I think I could really grow there and I could learn so much. So I was really stoked with like how that all happened and how like just reaching out like that, it turned into something, and just how cool they were. Like the owners are like incredible people and seem so knowledgeable. I don't know if this sounds weird, but it looks like looking at mum and dad. Like, I don't know if that sounds strange, but they feel like figures that you look up to, you know? Like I feel like they feel very inspiring to me. And I've only met them once, but it feels like, oh my gosh, like I could learn a lot here. And I also feel like I can give a lot too. So it's really cool, and I was really stoked about it, and I still am. Yeah. I think just even approaching them, and just the process of like going down there, like a lot of the time there wasn't anyone, the doors were kind of locked and I couldn't get in, and or like nobody being there, and then persevering, like feeling kind of anxious walking down and be like, okay, no, you've got this, you know, like just kind of reassuring myself like, okay, I'm going to go speak to them in person and like meet up with them, and you know, just persevering and doing that again and again and again took a lot of courage, and I'm just glad that I did it. I'm really proud of myself because it was scary.
Yeah, there's so many times you went down there and it didn't align.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a back and forth for a while.
Yeah. But I also do think in that process it gave me so much more strength, and when I finally got to meet with them it felt like this big thing, and it was like really special the way that I did meet them. It was I didn't expect them, but both of them were there. They had their baby there, and it was like a proper sit down chat discussion, get to know you. Like it was, they'd set aside the time, and they both are hugely busy. Like they're both working and they have a kid and they own this place. Like they're managing it. They're like, I was more just in awe and realized like, wow, like these guys are doing a lot, and it's exciting to see, and I really want to be a part of it. And yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And even one of the other girls who was renting one of the rooms there, while I was waiting, I was speaking to her, and she was really cool. It just seems like the place to be. It's amazing that it's literally at the bottom of my street. Like,
it's funny, when I was doing like 75 hard in phase 1 and stuff, I walked past there every day.
Really?
Every day. I looked in the window.
Did you?
Yeah.
Put some juju on that.
Speaking of that, that's crazy, because when I was in my old studio,
Yeah.
me and Verse went to shoot content or whatever. I don't know where we were going, or we had no plan. We were just going to do something. We went up to DY. And we were like, oh, we're just hungry. We'll get something. We ate at a Subway. That's literally across the road from where my new studio is. Like, what? That's crazy. The universe it works in mysterious ways, man.
And I think like showing the universe or like consciousness your dedication and putting yourself out there into those new experiences pays off so much more too. I think when you have to fight for it, or when you have to keep proving your dedication to it, it pays off tenfold. Like, I feel like it really does, because anything you have to fight for feels a lot more rewarding. And when you have to wait, or when there's a bit of push-pull, it's so much more, like it means so much more.
And the longer you have to fight for it, the bigger it grows, it seems.
And that's why I think both of these things for us have like feel quite profound too. It's like it wasn't just like, oh, next, oh, I want to do this, okay, boom, got it. Like it feels so special because it's something we've been like thinking about and cultivating and putting time and energy and in maybe even in just our thoughts, but we've been, you know, cultivating that in some way. And by doing that, I think we've conjured up this thrown energy towards it. It's manifested.
That's a crazy perspective. Because a lot of times, like, and we've talked about this, I don't even know how many times before on the podcast, but like, when things are tough, then you're doing the right thing, or like go outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Like all those kinds of things. But
yeah.
the fact that the longer that you have to fight for it, the bigger it grows. You're just like, if you haven't got it yet, it's because it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
Like,
It's building.
and in that sense, like, you can still be excited no matter how long it takes for you to get it, because you know every day that you invest into it and it hasn't materialized,
Yeah.
means it's still growing, which is crazy.
Yeah. I see it kind of like, you know, if you're like boosting up a level in a game or something, it's like a loading
Yeah.
screen of like energy of like,
Yeah.
or like hitting the thing, like the hammer down on like the ding, 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 ding.
Like at the show. Yeah.
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 It's like you're inputting slowly into that build.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
you don't always know the amount that it's going to take.
How big the tank is or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine it like it's a energy bar.
Yeah.
And that when you fill it up, once it reaches the top, it just materializes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you don't know how big the bar is.
No, you don't. You're like blind to the bar.
Yeah.
And you're like, should I put another bit in?
Yeah.
Like, at some points.
How far away am I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just still like inputting, it all adds up.
Yeah. That's crazy. That fully shifted my perspective on like being an artist and trying to do it, like become successful in it. Because like when you set out to achieve something that could take 5 or 10 years, it's hard to have the perspective of like I know it's going to take a long time, and I know that eventually something's going to happen. But to have that framework is really helpful because it's true.
Yeah. But it's also not just like nothing and then everything. It's also like you get little things along the way that sometimes you don't really even recognize.
Yeah.
Or you're not aware of. It's like for me, even going down, if I went down and, you know, waited or saw if the place was open, even just by going down there, the rest of my day I felt so much more confident and proud of myself because I had I've decided, okay, I'm going to do this thing for me. And although I didn't get to speak to anyone, I was still like, okay, but I did the thing. Like I went down and I was going to, you know, and that, like, I'm excited about that because I'm doing the thing, you know, and that builds in how the rest of my day was going and my confidence overall in general.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm investing in what I want and I'm going after the things that I think that are aligned. Like, and sometimes, you know, we don't really give ourselves like the time or the appreciation to like even be grateful or acknowledge those little wins that aren't actually little because they're all building up to something much bigger, and you need them. You need the little ones to deal with the big thing, you know? Like yeah. And it's like it's like not, you've been meeting other artists and doing sessions, and that's expanded so much from when you first started. Like if you look to where you've come is amazing, even in the quality of your music and who you are as a person and your ability to like your capability to be authentic and like try and make it as translucent of like you to others, and like navigating social media, and like there's so like we're talking about this at dinner, and there's so many aspects of being an artist. It's not being an artist. It's, you're an artist, you're a producer, you're like a coordinator, you're like booking sessions, you're doing content, doing social media content, making music videos, like outreach, like there's just so many parts to it. Like lyrics, like there's so many components that all build up, and they all have their different bars, they're all at their different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they all combine as like you and a person and achieving that big goal. But like there's those little goals within it. And I think we do need to just appreciate when we hit them. Like you finding a studio that is so professional and that like it's huge and it's so exciting. Because it means that you've told yourself you're worthy of this, and you've like put it out into the universe, and you've like, yeah, this is what I want. Like even you being at a stage where you're like, I can do, like you having the confidence in yourself is one part of it.
Yeah.
And then having the people and the connections to like meet up and do sessions there is like another thing.
Yeah. There's this thing, this is probably going to, for people who play Call of Duty, they'll understand. There's this thing called weapon camos. And they're these camos that you put on guns that unlock when you do a certain amount of achievements. And I like to, as you were saying that, I kind of drew the comparison to achieving a goal and how the camo, unlocking the camos work. There are different like categories. So like you have the diamond camo is like the best camo that you get by unlocking all the achievements and doing all the tasks. And to do that, you have to achieve mastery in each of the different weapon types, like shotguns, assault rifles, pistols. And then within those guns, within those categories, there's specific guns, and you have to do specific tasks that are specific to those guns. So like pistols, you have to do close range shots because that's kind of how a pistol works. But within all of them, you've got to get kills and headshots, which is basic. But it's just like, if you compare that to what I'm doing, for instance, my diamond camo is becoming a successful musician. My weapon categories are all the different jobs I have, like shooting content, making music, collaborating with people. And then within there, like, you got to do 1,000 headshots to unlock this camo for this gun. I've got to post 1,000 pieces of content onto Instagram to unlock that camo.
Yeah.
And then I've got to do 50 collaborations, and I've got to put out 10 albums to unlock all these camos.
Yeah.
To finally unlock the diamond camo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't play Call of Duty, it's completely turned off, but yeah. I think that's cool.
Yeah. That's a cool correlation that you've drawn and metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally wrote that in Ferris wheel.
Diamond camo.
Till I beat the game all achievements. I forgot the line before that. On a Ferris wheel, step to the top. I'm not scared of heights, scared of the drop. Ego bruises from the hits that I cop. The doubt is definite, expecting a flop. Never satisfied, always reaching. Born hunting something every season. Something. I forgot the line before that. I can't believe I forgot the lyric. Turn the heat of flames into teachings till I beat the game all achievements. What? What a bar, bro. What a bar. That's crazy. Turn the heat of flames into teachings till I beat the game all achievements. Yeah.
What was the line before? Can you say it really slowly?
Never satisfied, always reaching. Born hunting something every season. Turn the heat of flames into teachings till I beat the game.
Heat of flames into teachings.
Yeah.
What is that?
So like, it's kind of 2 or 3 meanings depending on how far you stretch it. But the heat of flames is like being in the furnace and you're molding yourself, and you're like a blacksmith would like carve a tool.
Yeah.
Or like you're in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah.
The heat of the flames.
Yeah.
And you take those lessons as teachings. You're turning those hard obstacles, you're turning those flames, you're turning the heat into teachings. Like you're molding yourself.
Mm.
You're taking lessons from the heat of the fire and the heat of battle, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to do that till I beat the game. All achievements.
All levels unlocked.
Yeah.
All camo skins.
Which in life never happens, right? Because there's always
more.
more.
It's infinite.
But that's why the line before is never satisfied, always reaching. Born, hunt, summon every season. Levels, bruh.
Levels. Grateful to be here. Grateful to have you in my life for 2 years.
Oh, you too.
And I'm glad we get to explore life together and speak about it. And I think even just being able to like sit here and speak as openly as we can is like a great reflection of like what we want to do and what we want to push, and I just think it's really great that we're able to like be open, and we're trying to like get deeper with each other and make bless you.
Thanks.
And I think just by having a conversation like this so casually, it just normalizes like it and allows a different level, a different type of conversation to be normal and regular, which feels really good.
That is the point of the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. But I'm just glad that we're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. I feel like I definitely wouldn't have progressed in all the ways that you were talking about before if I wasn't with you. You really made a lot of space for me to step into who I am. And I probably don't tell you that enough, but it's true. Because like your ability to see me from a different perspective, and then your gift of seeing that and then being able to articulate it in a way that I understand, I can just learn so much faster. Like the reason you were talking about before, like I can be way more transparent with my music is because like we've sat down and we've gone through songs. Oh, this part doesn't quite work. This part doesn't quite work, and it's because like you tell the truth.
Which I've only tell you the truth because I feel comfortable feeling like there's not going to be a bad reaction and that you can handle honesty, which I didn't realize that we could just be honest. Like I didn't realize like you could just say how you feel. Like I know like there's been many a times prior to this relationship that in all aspects of life we're like, just be honest, and I'm like, it doesn't feel right. But like
Easier said than done.
Yeah, but I feel like every time I do say something that feels scary, I feel validated, and it makes me able to do that more and feel comfortable saying the truth and being open. And then it makes me be able to like do that in other relationships too, and want to get deeper and be more open and honest with others, and still in a caring, compassionate, like as thoughtful way, like, but they're also like realizing that there is a space for honesty and it can be kind is something that I've learned. very much because of you. Yeah. That it doesn't have to come with like this sarcastic lens, or it's not a game, or it's not like trying to be better, or it's like can just be. I guess it just comes down to feeling safe. I'm feeling like you can hold my emotions. Grateful.
Bless.
Bless. We shall wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Thanks for chatting with me. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Until next time. Bye.
Peace out, mother truckers.
On the back rock, we just made this makeshift veggie box with a net and wire that holds the net, and then just using clothes pegs to peg up the mesh. Here we've got carrots and snow peas and chilies, rocket and lettuce. Here I'm looking up at weeds because I couldn't tell the difference between what was the seedlings and what was some of the weeds that were popping up. So I was using ChatGPT to help me with that.